Welcome to Grove Menus. I've already logged onto the system and wanted to get you oriented on what you see on the screen. We do a 5-week cycle, so the menus, the recipes, the shopping lists, the special diets are all done for you. However, you do have the ability to edit and customize the menu for what you think is best for your residents, but I'll show you that in a minute. So as you look at the screen, you're looking at one of those 5 weeks. And you're going to see Sunday on the left and Saturday on the right with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see week number 1. And that tells you you're on week number 1 of that 5-week cycle. When next Sunday comes around, the calendar will automatically forward and you'll see week number 2. And the next week after that will be week number 3. And it just cycles through those 5 weeks. You also can forward your calendar and go look at one of the weeks into the future. So I can click on week into the future and go look at that menu as well. You'll notice in the bottom right hand corner that that's going to be week number 2. We also upload new menus seasonally, and that can be done either 2 times or 4 times a year depending on your preference. At the bottom of every day you're going to see a dollar amount, and what that is the price per resident per day for food costs. Now you're going to source your food wherever you're comfortable doing so, but this will give you a gut feel of where you're at from a budgeting standpoint. In the upper left-hand corner, below the Grove Menus logo, you're going to see some tabs. And this is your navigation bar. So as you look from left to right, you'll see menu, edit menu, shopping list. And as you continue to the right, you're going to see week beginning and then the resident count. Now the resident count can be changed to the number of residents you're going to be serving. So if you have 90 people you're serving, you can simply just change that number to 90. And what that is going to do is scale your recipes and your shopping list to whatever resident count that you give it. So let's go ahead and edit our menu. What this does for you is open up your menu for the week and gives you the ability to edit and change the menu. And you'll see Sunday on the left and Saturday on the right with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'll also notice that there are categories. There are entrees, breakfast sides, fruits and vegetables, and so on and so forth. Also to the right of every recipe, you're going to notice a down arrow. And this is where you can select something different if you don't like the default. So let's do a couple examples of that. If we go to Wednesday and go to the first entree and click on the down arrow, what it's going to do is open up the default recipe and we can look at that. And if we don't like that, we can look at some alternatives that are listed here. We can hover over each one of those. The recipes will pop open, and we can pick something different. So perhaps we want to have the enchilada. So I just hover over it and click on it. By the way, you'll notice that to the right of every recipe there's a dollar amount, and that's the serving size price. So as you're doing your budgeting, you can get an idea of that way as well. So again, as I click on that, you'll notice that the green chili enchiladas is in that spot. Let's go ahead and edit the second entree. Again, the default recipe pops open. I can hover over these different ones and pick something different. Now, if I don't like any of these choices, and I don't want even to have a second entree, I could click on no option. Or I could search the database. And maybe I want to have a shrimp of some type. And so I can click on, type in the word shrimp. And as I do that, every recipe that has the name shrimp in its title will be listed. And again, I can hover over each one of those and pick something different. And again, you'll notice it'll put it in that spot. Now to the right of every recipe, there is a box. And this is where I can control the production level at the recipe level. If I have 2 entrees, most likely I'm not going to serve 90 of each entree. I can go, for example, maybe for the enchilada, I think maybe 60 people are going to have that, and maybe the shrimp will be 30 people will have that. I could go up to the bacon and see that it says 1 slice of bacon and note that many of my residents probably want to have more than 1 slice of bacon, so maybe I'll put 120 there. So that's the idea behind editing the menu. We can click on these down arrows, pick something different, and choose what we think would work best for our residents. Let's go ahead and click on menus and go back to our main screen. You notice as we look at our menu now, under Wednesday, that we'll see that we've picked the enchiladas and the shrimp. Let's go ahead and show you how you view and print your weekly menu and your daily menu. We can click on Week at a Glance. And what that's going to do is open up a PDF file, and there's our menu for the week. The Grove Menus logo in the upper left-hand corner can be your logo, as well as your facility name will be there. But you'll notice that there is a dietitian signature there. So if you need that, we'll make sure that we get you set up so you always have that dietitian signature. Going back to our main screen, let's go ahead and click on today's menu under Wednesday. And again, that's going to open up the menu for the day, and then you can print and post this as needed. To the left of every recipe, there's a box, and this is the way that we can view and print our recipes that we've selected. So let's go ahead and look at the enchilada and the shrimp. And then we're going to print our recipes, and it's going to again open up a PDF file. And every recipe is going to have this format. You're going to see the name of the recipe. Notice we're serving 60, and it scales our ingredients to 60 because that's what we told it. The nutritional facts and the procedures and sometimes tips you'll see. And below that we have the special diet instructions, and I just turned a few of these on. But what we're telling you is what you need to do different for those recipes, for those special diets should it be needed. And as you scan through that, that first one's diabetic, mechanical, soft, low sodium, and low fat. As we scroll down to our next recipe, this is the guacamole, same format. Here's the shrimp. Notice the shrimp one that we are serving 30, and it scales those recipes to 30 as well. Let's go ahead and go back to our main screen again. And let's look at our recipes. Now this recipe tab is just an index into our database. It's like a cookbook. And this is where you can go look at all the recipes and get a good idea of what's in there. And in the upper right hand corner, we can do a search, and we could say, gosh, I want to see all the recipes that have the name meatloaf in it, and click on search, and it'll pull up all the recipes with meatloaf, and I can look at those and peruse those as I need to. You also can add a new recipe, so if you have a resident favorite or chef favorite and you just don't see it in the database, you can add in your own recipe as well. Going to the shopping list, you'll notice in the top middle of the screen it says date beginning and date ending, and you can change this date range to whatever you want. So if you have a truck coming in twice a week or from Monday to Wednesday, it doesn't matter. You just change that date range to whatever you want. And the list below is going to tell you exactly what you need according to that date range and scaling it to whatever resident count or production numbers you gave it. And you'll notice as you look through the list here, you'll see baking supplies and beans and beverages and so on and so forth. And then you can print your selected items. It opens up a PDF file and lists our shopping list there. Now, this list tells you exactly what you need, but it's not necessarily what you need to go order. So one way you can do this for your inventory is you can just turn off the items that you don't need. These just all toggle on and off. You can turn them off if you don't need them, and then you can click your selected items, and it's just going to show you the items that you need to order. We also have the ability to import your pricing from your order guide, and it depends on the distributor and the GPO you're using. But as you look at the screen, you'll see that there'll be a UPC code there, and that'll be populated with your vendor's UPC code. It'll be your pricing, and it'll also show how they package their products. So if you have baking soda and they have a case that has 10 cans that are 32 ounces each or whatever, you'll be able to see that as well. Going back to our main menu, under each day, we have already looked at today's menu, but you also can look at your production sheet for a particular day. And this just helps you control your production numbers. Some places are required to keep track of the date they pulled their meat, how much is prepared, what was left over, cooking temperatures and things like that. So you can print this and put it in a book. Or if you're a spreadsheet type person, you can download to a spreadsheet and keep it track of it electronically. The extensions under Wednesday, for example, again show those special diets, and there's a column for every special diet. And If you see an X in the column, it means you do not have to do anything special for that recipe, for that special diet. But if you see something else, that means that you need to make some modifications. And the recipes that we looked at will give you the details of those. So we also have a static menu, or another name for that is a always available menu, a restaurant style menu. So that's something that you can use as well. Well, we appreciate listening to the short demo here. If this looks of something interest to you, when we log out, in the upper right hand corner, you can sign up, or you can just give us a call. We can talk more about your situation. And thank you very much.